Thank you very much for tuning in to Straight Outta Weston, Weston-super-Mare's #1 podcast, and a massive shout out to Josh from JD3DP Printing, who has made us this sign. So if you need anything 3D printing, Josh is your guy. Also, he has made us this amazing Lego person. We've nicknamed him Deck, but yeah, he's a new member of the White Shades crew, and yeah, thank you very much, Josh. And also a massive shout out to our #1 sponsor, A Squared Technologies. Thank you very much. I'm having a drink before I get into this. We've got an amazing guest lined up, a true legend of Weston-super-Mare. So I'd like to say a massive thank you to Martin Darcy, who's come on. Can we have a round of applause? An absolute legend of Weston-super-Mare and an all-round really nice guy as well.
Thank you, Andy.
That's all right. Anytime.
Thank you for inviting me.
He's paid me to say that. You owe me £2 later, yeah? So I've got some questions for you, Martin, if you don't mind me delving deep into what's in and around Martin Darcy, if that makes sense.
Please do. Let's hope people can find it interesting.
I bet there is a lot of stories. Whether or not we've got time for them all, probably not. But maybe that's for a second episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got it.
Let's get into it. So I've got the questions ready. So Martin, a young Martin, you know, you're growing up. What made you turn to art as a young?
Not being an academic.
Yeah.
In any sense or form. My elder brother was, and I just couldn't really keep up with him. And I like music, and I loved art. If I could paint at school, great. So I always wanted to be an artist or a musician if possible. But the art side of it came along, and I was basically doing nothing. After school, my exams were pretty rubbish. Ended up going to college in the end, where I could continue with my art.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, me being me, girls came along, and I got 2 years into college, and then we left college, and we decided to go off and be hippies in Wales.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for a year, and then the realisation crept in, and came back, went back to Oxford, got my job in a local Museum of Modern Art in Oxford.
All right.
As a technician.
Yeah.
And it was the best job. I mean, if you're a young guy in art, it was the best place to be.
Yeah.
You know. And unfortunately, that only lasted about a year and a half. And we split up, my girlfriend and I. I came home, and the story begins there.
Right.
And my brother-in-law at the time, he had a body shop out in Hewish,
in
Weston. And he said, look, you're home, you need a job. I wasn't skilled at anything, nothing. Apart from working in the mushroom farm when I was a kid, that was it. I could tell you what a mushroom looked like.
Really?
That was about it. So I went out there and learned bodywork, car bodywork.
Oh, okay.
And that just kept me going.
Yeah.
I started doing all the bike tanks in Weston with my airbrush work.
Oh, okay.
All the bikers many years ago. I really enjoyed that. And there's still some fantastic, bear in mind that's a long time ago, I've been chatting to a couple of local bikers, and they still have those original bikes.
Oh, wow.
Kept in their lounge, of course.
Yeah.
But still with my artwork on there. So that's how it sort of began.
That's pretty cool out there. There's these bikers with your artwork sat there from...
Yeah, on a Friday night outside, all the bikes all lined up.
Oh, that's
I used
awesome.
to walk past and think, I've done that.
Yeah.
And that's where it started getting this, I can do this.
Yeah.
And I didn't make a lot of money doing that, but obviously I had a job and I was allowed to do it at work. And I carried on with the car body trade, and did quite well at it.
Yeah.
Become very good at it. So that's what I basically did for the next 30 years.
And that's what kind of got you started. I read somewhere that you went travelling around Europe. Is that true?
I did France.
Yeah.
Basically, and started my street art there. Basically.
I was going to say, with your travelling about, did that kind of influence you on the kind of art, or has your style
commercially?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw these guys on the seafront, and I thought, wow, that's quick. How on earth? I know they're paying 10, 20 euros for a little picture. It's taken her about 4 or 5 minutes to do, and there was people queuing up for them. So when I got back to Weston, I thought, I'll have a go at that. I sat in High Street and on the seafront, had a go. 1 minute, there's no one there. The next minute, there's about 60 people watching you.
Yeah.
You can watch for free.
Yeah.
And the little kids loved it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm actually creating, and you can take one away with you.
Yeah.
I think I was charging £5 for each one.
Wow.
I mean, you could charge more, but at the time I thought, it's just brilliant. It's great fun. I had a lot left at the end of the day, don't get me wrong. Some I folded it off.
Yeah.
So we go, no, don't do that, no, I'll have that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people used to just grab them and keep them. They're still around. People send me pictures of their houses where they say, I remember you doing this, Martin, in Weston-super-Mare High Street. And it's, sort of 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
But that's really nice, I don't always like my own pictures, I've got to show you, but people just love them.
Yeah. It's because they are good. They are good. You're just being modest, but honestly, like...
Some of them are good. I will say. Some of them, good.
So you mentioned about painting tanks, fuel tanks, and smaller jobs like that. Then you go on to massive murals.
Yeah.
Is it
murals? I call them murals.
Murals.
They're murals, but
murals.
I like
murals. Murals, right? We'll call them murals.
Taking the piss out of myself.
Because I get off my producer over there, who has got me.
I don't. We just have different ways of saying.
Yeah. So
murals.
Murals. Murals.
Yes, murals.
Murals. I'll try and say it. I can't promise I'm going to say it right. We all know what I mean.
Try your best. Go on.
But so what happened with the transition then? So you went from doing motorbike tanks to big murals around Weston, like in businesses and that. Was it?
A great friend of mine, a guy I used to do a lot of work for as well, Nelson Penfold.
Okay.
He rang me up one morning. And he said, I bought a pub, Martin. I said, all right, okay, it's just what you do every day.
What time are you open?
Yeah. And he said, I want you to come and paint my walls. Okay. So next day I turned in, I said, what do you want? I said, just get on with it, basically. And it turned into a pub called Vinnie's, which is still very popular in Weston. They're great guys in there. I painted some pictures in there, big ones, And I'm thinking, this is good, isn't it? And everyone's thinking, oh, wow,
Yeah.
So I get my little Facebook page going, and you get more and more likes, and people saying, can you come and do one for me? And it just rolled on like that, and then it rolled on. So I do a lot of private work.
Yeah.
And I had my eye on the walls. I've had my eyes on these walls in Weston. And there wasn't a great deal of artwork on the walls in Weston. A credit to Jamie.
Yeah.
His stencil work's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
There's some great... It is absolutely brilliant. I love Jamie, a great guy. And his imagination, little quirky little notes on it, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So there was that at the time. But I had my eyes on some big walls.
Yeah.
And as you know, I did have my eye on a big wall opposite the tech, because obviously Vinnie's is there.
Yeah.
And one day I said to Nelson, I said, look, see that little, we're bored, in the winter there's this little alcove, and it's still there to this day. And I said, I'm going to paint something in there, so we got something to look at when we sat in the pub. So I went over and painted this little alcove, just sky, clouds, a little balustrade, and some happy trees, as I call them, right? And that's still there to this day. And that was it. Once you get painting outside, I couldn't stop.
Yeah. Well, you've definitely made an impact anyway on Weston's walls around here.
It did, and it also created a lot of opportunity for other artists to come, because the cats were they were dubious.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know we're talking about a big one in West.
Yeah.
By opposite the college.
My favourite.
But once that was done, it's not been graffitied as such.
No.
It's been tagged a little.
Yeah.
I've not painted over those tags because I still feel, that's okay. They're not huge.
Yeah.
And I just let them.
Oh, okay.
And I think with a bit of respect to whoever it is, they'll show the respect back.
Yeah.
Because bearing in mind, it is crying out. I don't want to say too much, but, it's not been destroyed, and it's very easy to get close to it.
Oh,
to
yeah.
do that if
yeah.
you wished.
Yeah, if some idiot wanted to do it.
So that's a really nice thing.
Yeah.
That people, I always think if you put something nice on a wall, people don't tend to want to destroy it.
No.
Unless it's got a political motive.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say too much, but as the John Cleese before on the wall.
Yeah.
I did enjoy, I will say this, I did enjoy painting over John Cleese after what you said about Weston-super Mare. Sorry, John. Even though I love him dearly, but
Wow.
picture right.
Yeah, fair enough. So the painting you're talking about is obviously the orca and the sea turtle.
Yes.
It is like, I can't even begin to imagine how many times I've seen that, but every time I see it, I'm like, wow. It's just got that wow factor. And I always think the turtle's going to wink.
Yes.
Or the orca's tail's going to move. It's just honestly, it's magic. And I've done some like photo shoots outside it where we did using the zebra crossing and that, and it's just such a good backdrop. But yeah, it's just for me, it's probably my favourite street art of Weston because it's on a massive scale, but it's just what the heck. Even though there is loads, like you say, with Jamie's, his stuff. My favourite one of his is a drone one. It's at Burnbeck Pier, and it's a drone with like a spray can. And then I like the Deadly one just because big shout out to Deadly.
There are numerous ones, aren't there?
But they're great.
The bare wall.
Yeah.
It's just, and the children love their little.
It's exciting, isn't it, for them? Because I'm not
come across and see that.
Yeah,
it's a great introduction to children, but art, because they can relate to a bear,
And there's like the Batman one as well. So yeah, it is good. So that's my favourite. So all the ones you've done, all the murals, what is your favourite?
It has to be the turtle and orca. It has to.
Has to be, hasn't it?
Outside.
Yeah.
Inside. 100% Tarantella.
Yeah.
In St James Street.
That is pretty.
I
pretty
love
good.
that. That was done a long time ago, around the time I started, and I go in there now, and I still sit there and think, oh my God,
I did that.
Did I do that? When I didn't really know what to do, I just they asked me to do something of Italy, and I did. And it's quite surprising because a lot of people always said, when you've had a few beers, you're going to walk straight into the wall, which is great fun, why not?
Yeah.
Not that you would, but you might.
Well, yeah, there is that.
But yeah, the turtle and orca definitely my favourite.
So obviously, it's a huge project to do anything like that. What's been your biggest challenges? So if we use that one as an example, what was your biggest challenge of doing that wall?
At the time, the pavement was very narrow.
Yeah.
Also, we couldn't use any scaffolding.
Right.
It was just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So we actually had to do it off the ground.
Really?
I drew it with my fishing, because I like fishing.
Yeah.
And a fishing pole. And I put a big piece of chalk on the end of my fishing pole and stood just in the road and basically drew it. And then got on a ladder and went up and painted it.
Seriously?
This is true.
I can't get it. So he was there with a piece of chalk on your fishing pole. And I can't get over that. I thought there would have been scaffolding. And
when you're so close to an image,
Yeah.
over to a wall, Obviously now I found out a lot more about it. There are other ways of doing it, but unless you stand back, the proportions, because it's so big,
Yeah, it's massive.
you couldn't actually see. So you want to stand back with a really long pole, so I can actually see the wall, and then I can see what I can get the proportions correct.
Did you ever get any people like motorists going, "Get out of the way, you daft! The sea's that way."
Yes. I nearly put the back in the pole, you bring it down.
Oh, yeah.
Through someone's window.
Oh no.
I had all sorts of things going on there, but
Yeah,
it
that's
worked out all right in the end.
yeah. It kind of paid off just a little bit, didn't it?
Just put a paintbrush on the end of it to do stars on the ceiling in Little Town Adventure.
Oh, okay.
Because it's so high up.
Yeah.
I wanted to climb up. Well, we did have towers in there, but if you go up, do 10 stars, you've got to move. So I thought, just go on the ground, just on the end of this fishing pole again. So there's 2 times I've used that fishing pole to get over it.
Do you just going off topic? Do you ever fish in Weston?
Yes.
Because I'm obsessed. Like I always like walking around like Anchorhead and that, and see all these. But I never see anyone pull any fish out.
No, you tend to go down by the pool.
Yeah.
By the pool, and there's a small area there which, because of the way the channel works with certain currents, the beach just south of the pool, brilliant for bass.
Oh, okay.
And rays.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Honestly, you can get 3-4 bass in the session there.
Really?
That will put them back, obviously.
Yeah.
But we didn't used to. It's always, a couple of them used to end up in a certain restaurant. I'm not going to say who's.
No, that's fair enough. That's brilliant. Yeah, I've seen all these fish, but I've never seen anyone pull anything out.
Catch anything up there?
No. So with your artwork out in the community, have you had any interactions with local residents? Have you walked past any of your art pieces and people are like, "Oh wow, look at this," and they don't realise that you're the guy who's painted it? Have you ever overheard anything or?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I don't often say anything. Normally it's people taking selfies.
Yeah.
And things. Yeah, you know, I think the only comment I've ever heard that's bad, I just use the turtle and orca for example, was, "Oh, what's that got to do with Weston Super Man? There aren't any whales. There aren't any turtles.
No.
In Weston Super Man."
Yeah.
And I thought, well,
Yeah.
that was odd.
At least it's only the one.
Yeah.
You've got to, and you've always got to have that one. You're like, did that person just say that?
Yeah.
Future projects, have you got anything on at the minute you're allowed to tell us about?
Yes. I'm off to Poole in Dorset again this year. So I've got a lovely restaurant down there.
Yeah.
They're Himalayan. There's a string of restaurants down there. I did one last year, and they've asked for another piece of work in there, which is really nice. It's big. And,
Yeah.
I'm quite proud of the last one I did of the Himalayas. That was really, well, I really did enjoy that. We've got work coming up locally. Tickenham, private gardens, I've got lots of private work.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, children's rooms. I've got a baby room coming up again. One I've done recently, which is worth mentioning, was a bungalow in a friend's garden. It's a bungalow. He's built. And inside this bungalow, it's huge. There's a koi pond.
Oh, okay.
And I did it all Japanese.
Oh,
The
nice.
whole place. And it's about 15 feet deep. And it's just a massive bungalow. One big room.
Yeah.
And the fish in there, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I did the inside of it, and he's asked me to do the outside, which I just did recently. But that was quite amazing. I did enjoy that because you've got these fish, and I'm on boards going across, right across this span, 25 feet on the boards, trying to get over the wall. But yeah.
And you didn't fall in?
I didn't fall in.
Oh.
No. If I had, I think they'd have eaten me because I'm small enough.
So this is going to be my last question. obviously you're a fantastic artist. Have you got any words for people who want to get into the art industry or, aspiring artists?
Well, yes, just if you like painting, try. Just
Yeah.
do it. And there's lots of opportunities in Weston.
Yeah.
And we'll say there are so many really enthusiastic artists in Weston. And there was art space in High Street. I don't know where they've managed to relocate or they're still there. I would like to mention Beverly Doncaster.
Yeah.
Beverly. If anyone can get in touch with her, she could always guide you to... She has the knowledge, knows the people.
Yeah.
If you want to just get started, just
Just do it.
And you never know.
No.
You just never know.
Because you could go from painting fuel tanks on motorbikes to huge murals. Murals.
Yeah.
Is it murals?
Murals.
Murals.
I like murals.
Murals, yeah.
They call it a mural.
Yeah.
My mum would always call it a mural.
Yeah. I think it sounds nice.
There's always a mural on Coronation Street. If I remember.
I've not watched it, but I've not watched Corrie for a long time.
Yeah. And 3 ducks.
Oh yeah, you got to have the 3 ducks on your
4
wall.
ducks doesn't look right.
No.
And I found this out in most of my paintings.
Yeah.
There's always 3.
Right, okay.
3 seagulls. You put 4 in,
It,
doesn't look right. You put 2 in, they look lovely. 3 seagulls, just right. It's a very strange thing, but it seems to work.
well, if it works, it works.
It's a bit like putting the sun in the middle of your picture. One funny thing is, people will always say, why do you never put the sun in your picture? Say we live in Weston.
Yeah. Or the tide. Everyone thinks the tide never comes in.
Oh, and all my sea is blue, even if it's Weston.
Yeah.
But it reflects the sky, you see.
Yeah.
You get the odd person go,
That's not Western
Sea is
Sea.
brown.
Yeah.
Reflects the sky.
Do you know what? People say that, but I have seriously seen it, and it has been bluish.
Yeah.
And,
You get low enough down and let the sky reflect off it.
Yeah.
It
It was, for a split second, it was blue. And I was like, this is fantastic. So,
Anyway,
so,
thank you.
anyway, massive thank you. It's
a pleasure coming to say hello.
honestly,
Thank you very much.
speaking to you is fantastic. You're such a great guy. And obviously, being an artist, we're going to do a bit of painting now. And if that's all right, you up for a bit of... But not your general painting, because we are at Paint Mayhem in Weston-super-Mare, where you basically have an easel and you get to splat paint at it. I think we've got all different tools and stuff, so we're going to do a bit of that. So if you want to see what we get up to and see what Martin Darcy creates, keep watching. And thanks very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank
Ad.
you. Cheers.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I've had Martin Darcy on my podcast. Yes. So a massive thank you to Paint Mayhem in Weston-super-Mare for giving us this awesome space for us to do the podcast with my amazing guest, Martin Darcy. He's prepping now. He's going to paint us something on this canvas, what these guys have kindly let us have.
With none of my gear, of course.
He has. We have. I'll show you some of the gear you can use. By the way,
palette.
if you do come to Paint Mayhem, they provide you with overalls, shoe covers, hairnets. I think this is actually a shoe one because of the. But it works well for my head, for my hair. Goggles, you can have everything. And then they've got loads of stuff. Things to use for painting, to make amazing things. And you can also water the paint down and put it into water guns and spray it on. But so we're going to get into this. So I've just got to say a massive thank you to everyone who donated to our GoFundMe to help us get the equipment to do this podcast. We're keeping the GoFundMe going just because there's always stuff we could do with and need. So if anyone wants to put in a few quid, thank you very much for that. Also, thank you to everyone who comments, likes, shares this podcast. It's in its early stages now, but we've had so much positive feedback from it. I can't say thank you enough. And it's helping us get on amazing guests like this guy here, Martin. It's fantastic. But thanks very much, guys, for watching. Yes, so Martin was just saying the stuff we've used today is stuff what's available at Paint Mayhem Weston. So Martin's been able to like create this masterpiece, I'm going to call it, just with this basic stuff. So, you know, it shows that anyone can make something out of like the basics, whatever you've got. So yeah, that's fantastic. We're going to give this away as well. We're going to do a competition where you can win this, so stay tuned for how you can win it. Martin's going to sign it for us as well, so we'll film him signing it. Then you know it's a genuine Martin Darcy. And there's a pen, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So excited about this.
It can see it's me. Everyone knows it's me.
Exactly.
Not a problem.
And we've got video footage as well to prove it. But
there you go.
thank you very much for that.
Thank you,
That's
Ant.
fantastic.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, brilliant.
And rock
I've
and
had
roll,
such a
what a
good
great
time.
place this is for
Isn't
kids. They've got to come in here and just throw some paint around.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, they get messy, they've got overalls, Frank provides them with everything. Come and paint.
You've heard it from the main guy himself.
for it.
Get yourself in here, get painting, and get yourself
It's all
having
here,
some fun.
everything you need.
Yeah. And it don't matter about if you splash the walls around. Everywhere, the paint can go everywhere. So floor, your head. But thanks very much, guys, for watching. Bye from us. Cheers. See you on the next
Bye-bye.
one.